We will remind them that we have everything to be thankful for. Now you smile with your eyes. I know your face is covered, but that's okay. Your eyes, just blink your eyes, roll them a bit, and make somebody next to you feel special. Of course, today is a day of celebrating, and so we are just happy to be in this place. Ladies and gentlemen, youth of Monrepo, the future of St. Lucia, the future of Monrepo, our pilots, our architects of today and tomorrow. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this awards and appreciation ceremony organized by the Monrepo Youth and Sports Council under the umbrella of the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports. And of course, my name is Mrs. Flora Emmanuel Joseph, for those of you who do not know me, and I am your hostess for today's activity. We will journey for the next few hours as we give honor and recognition to the efforts, the talent, and the success of our youth in this community. And of course, we recognize our youth and their efforts in the midst of the storms and the challenges, and more significantly, in the midst of the opportunities that have presented itself from 2018 to now. Our trip, I can assure you, we're not taking a short trip bus, because our trip would go beyond our short trip bus. Our trip will be educational, and it will be enlightening. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be enlightening to you as well as myself, as we will get to know more about our community, particularly the efforts of our young people as they continue to improve themselves and their community. And with that, I invite us to stand. The book of Proverbs chapter 3 verse 6 reminds us that in all things we are to acknowledge him and he will direct our path. Bow your heads for a moment as we acknowledge the presence of God in our midst, and we ask for his guidance for today's activity as we invite Mrs. Melandra Giddens Wilson to do the opening prayers.
We are praying. Dear Heavenly Father, we praise and magnify your name. We ask for your blessings on this ceremony, our awardees, and all who have gathered with us today. Thank you for the opportunity to congregate as we celebrate the creativity and focused efforts of our youth. We pray for a smooth sail of events and a safe trip back home. Be with us this hour and every hour. Amen.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilson. And may I ask that we stand at attention as we invite Mr. Damian Jabatis to lead us in the singing of the national anthem.
Two, three. Sons and daughters of St. Lucia, love the land that gave us birth, land of beaches, hills and valleys, fairest isle of all the earth. Wheresoever you may roam, love, oh love, our island home. Gone the times when nations battled for this land of the West. Gone the days when strife and discord deemed her children's toil and rest. The brighter day edges out a glad new way. May the good Lord bless our island, guard her sons from woe and harm. May our people live united, strong in soul and strong in arm. Justice, truth, and charity, our ideal forever be. Thank you.
You may be seated at this time. And thank you very much, Mr. Jabatis. It felt really good singing the national anthem. Wasn't that good? It made me remember how proud we are to be of our nation, how proud we are to be called sons and daughters of St. Lucia. And when we do sing, we sing it with pride because we know that we are a people who represent this land. And of course, our youth, that's the lifeblood of the land that we are proud of. It's been celebrated under the theme, Inspire, Empower, Create, Change. As we ponder on the theme, I invite you to join me in, let me establish the protocol first and then we'll continue. Honorable Dr. Gail Tissi-Rugobert, Parliamentary Representative for Micoud North, Mr. Myron Talium, Development Officer in the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, Mr. Nayo Serrier, President of the Grassroots Youth Organization, and also our featured speaker, Youth and Sports Officer in the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, Mr. Karen Serrier, Chairperson of the St. Lucia National Lotteries, Mr. Jeannie Lobon, Second Vice President of the St. Lucia National Youth Council and members of the Micoud North Youth and Sports Council. We also recognize Mr. Marlon Leas, who's a member of the Micoud North Youth and Sports Council. We acknowledge all presidents and representatives of the various affiliates of the Monrepo Youth and Sports Council, our very own Olympian, Mr. Zephrinus Joseph, our youth officer, Mrs. Melandra Giddens Wilson, members of the executive and the president, of course, of the Monrepo Youth and Sports Council, our president, Mr. Glenn Wilson, and the other members of the executive. We also recognize the presence of our Great Vision team, our performers, our awardees this afternoon, our specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, I am sure you will agree with me that the person who's best suited to be welcome to you is none other than the President of the Youth and Sports Council. Join me in applauding as we welcome Mr. Glenn Wilson to do the welcome remarks as well as the President's remarks. Put our hands together for him.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Joseph, Master of Ceremonies, Dr. Gil Rugobert, Parliamentary Representative for Micoud North, Mr. Nayo Serrier, President of the Grassroots Youth and Sports Club, Mr. Nayo Serrier, Jonathan Sharp, is no longer given.
This exercise is inspire, empower, create, change. Research has shown that people are more creative and productive when they are intrinsically motivated by the work itself and experience joy in performing that work. This is evident in the accomplishment of our awardees today. Our people have always been a resilient one. We are proud to be an independent community where Kudme and Bobo Jobs and the likes are still alive and well in community, where our elders still strive to instill good values in our young people. Being a young nation with approximately 60% of the population below the age of 40, that's over 131,000 inhabitants in St. Lucia, aged between 15 and 64 as of 2019, it is our youth who are leaders of today. Oftentimes we hear that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. I think they are the leaders as of now. And if we consider them to be our future, then we should brighten up their future by bringing forth their hidden talents today. It is the youth who is carrying and will continue to carry forward a modern St. Lucia. So it is our responsibility to ensure that they are able to live their dreams and be recognized for achieving what is also best for the nation. In previous times, young people in the past have not been able to pursue their passion and dreams because there was a lack of enablers, opportunities, and motivation. Today, the world is different. We see more young people entering the world of politics, and globally, some very young people are becoming heads of government in the world. We don't have to look too far to celebrate and recognize similar young people taking charge of their own destiny and future. Mr. Rosary, more affectionately known as Zico, a 21-year-old rising junior mechanical engineering major who currently attends Howard University, son of Herbert and Mary Rosary in Prale, is the co-founder of Optronics, which is a technological company focusing on developing St. Lucia's economy through STEM-based programs and initiatives. Or Mr. Vitas Peter, also from Prale, who took the bold step and started his own company, Great Visions Designs. He started the first ever live funeral streaming in St. Lucia. Or young Clivert Michel, a daring youth who keeps reminding me of a younger Sylvester Tad James. Clivert keeps breaking boundaries and cycling into new speeds and lanes. His records are astonishing, as well as his participation in such a wide cross-section of national and regional cycling events. It is important to embrace the positivity, strength, and talent that exists among our youth. It is important to encourage them as they continue to develop their individual and collective skills. Today's stars come from across Mon Repos. From Prale to Mamiku and Monrepo Central, up Loba and down the avenue, Noke Avenue that is, to Pasias, St. Mary, swinging into Vietnam and Montboiden, shortcutting up to Lapwet and taking in the great views of Las Mabuya and Pasias Bay, down to Margaretut and Fon. You are here because of your outstanding commitment and dedication to your chosen pursuits, and today we celebrate and highlight these achievements. There are so many young people in our great state of Monrepo who are truly doing extraordinary things, and we applaud you all and thank you for your commitment, and we want to encourage you to keep up the good work that you have started. Around the world, we have been recognized for our sports achievement, our warm hospitality, and our friendliness. Now it's time we recognize you as doers, dreamers, and agents of change. You, along with so many, have made great contributions to our community and to the nation. This is why you are here today. That is why we bestow you with these honors, and we celebrate and we encourage you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. And of course, you will agree that Mr. Wilson is still an example of one of our youth who has dedicated himself not just to the community of Monrepo, but throughout the length and breadth of St. Lucia. He has also done some tremendous work overseas, and sometimes we do not take time to acknowledge the talent that we have within us. So let's give him a round of applause for his remarks this afternoon, and of course for the work that he continues to do in the community. Glenn mentioned something that I cannot help but tap into. Monrepo was a community where our values stood out. Everybody was proud to say that I live in the community of Monrepo. I'm still very proud, but if we don't safeguard youth, we are here. You have a lot of influence on the ground. If we don't safeguard what made us special as a community, if we don't safeguard the values that made us the community of peace and tranquility, then we would have to ask ourselves questions later on. So I want to encourage you to maintain the values that our parents passed on to us and to improve on them, because as was rightly noted, you form the dominant part of our population. 60% youth, 40% above youth. Let us take charge, let's take responsibility, and continue to transform the face of our community. I now want to invite Mr. Jonathan Shalom, who is the representative of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, to give some remarks at this time. And of course, we take the opportunity on behalf of the Monrepo Youth and Sports Council to thank the Ministry of Youth and Sports for the continued support that they give to youth. Let's put our hands together as we welcome him.
Thank you. It was a very long protocol list, so I would like to adopt the protocols already established. I would like to bring the warmest of greetings from our ministry, from our minister, Minister Estefan, our Permanent Secretary Eugene, our Youth Director, Miss Mary Wilfred. They're all watching online and they send their warmest regards. I am most elated to be here today. This is where, in this very room right here, that second class here was where I did my teaching practical. And I must say, Monrepo people are some of the warmest, coolest, and most irate people I've ever met. And I want you to join me in doing what I call a clapometer. So we'll start at the bottom, and as I go up, I want you to raise it a little harder. When I pump, I want you to make some noise. You can do that with me? Let's try it out. Woo! All right, great. The Ministry of Youth Development and Sports has embarked on a series of community awards. And we've been having these awards all over the country. And it really brought to light and really warms my heart when I see the amazing things young people are doing in our communities, especially Monrepo. You know, Monrepo has an abundance of talent. And the most used new word for the last 2 years has been COVID. And COVID has really changed our lives. We have a new normal, that's what they call it. And a silver lining in this very dark cloud has been those community awards. And I hope that will be a new normal. I'm watching my parliamentary rep, these people in cabinet, they're the ones who can make the monies flow in the communities. I really, really hope, it is my fervent hope and desire that we continue to have those community awards. Yes, we will have a national youth awards, but I think really going into the community and celebrating young people in front of their peers will really inspire them, motivate them, create the change that you are speaking about. So I want you to help me celebrate the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports and our esteemed youth worker working here in Monrepo, Miss Melandra Giddens. Let's give it up. All right. One of your themes here is change. And Mahatma Gandhi said, you must be the change you want to see in this world. We all have the innate power to shape our life. But you cannot just speak change. You have to live change. Intent paired with action builds the bridge to success. You cannot just want it. You have to do it. You have to live it. You have to be it. You are the sum of all the choices you make until now. If you really want something, you will find a way. If you really do not want something, you will find an excuse. And at my attempts to inspire, I want to share one of my favorite little poems with you. I'm no elocution expert, but I'll try something. If you want a thing bad enough, to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and sleep for it. If all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, if you gladly sweat for it, and fret for it, and plan for it, and lose all of your terror of the opposition for it, if you simply go after the thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold, poverty, famine nor gout, sickness nor pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you will get it. Les Brown. And as I stand here, I have a little concern about Monrepo. I remember my days as president of Choiseul Youth and Sports Council. Monrepo would always beat us for Council of the Year. I'm looking at Mr. President over there, and I really want our youth and sports councils in our communities to continue to grow, to continue to strengthen, to create opportunities for our young persons. And coming here, I've met some amazing young people over the years, and I see your faces here today, and it warms my heart. I think the future is bright. But we need to put in the effort. We need to put in the work. And I really want to urge young persons to volunteer. Give of your time, give of your energies to make our communities better. I often tell people, my university was Youth and Sports Council. You learn all the skills you need to survive and thrive in this world by volunteering in a Youth and Sports Council. I borrow the thoughts of a man who lived this life with purpose, Dr. Martin Luther King. Everybody can be great because everybody can serve. You don't need a university degree to serve. You don't even have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. So to those of us gathered here today with our hearts full of grace and our souls full of love, we have an opportunity to be great. An opportunity to stand up and commit to our theme. And I must say that's been a very interesting theme. Go out and inspire. Change your communities. Create opportunities not just for yourself, but for others. Continue to inspire. To those of you who are getting awards, I say congratulations. Keep it up. Keep working. Those of you who were nominated and you may not get an award today, this is not failure by any means. And if it is, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill. I was warned by my youth workers, don't be long, because I always tell them we need to end on time. And I want to end by sharing this with you. And I want you to repeat after me. I am only one.
I am only one.
But still I am one.
But still I am one.
I cannot do everything.
I cannot do everything.
But still I can do something.
But still I can do something.
And because I cannot do everything,
And because I cannot do everything,
I will not refuse to do something that I can do.
I will not refuse to do something that I can do.
Hands for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
I think we can do better than that. And of course, you will agree that there were many lessons from his remarks to us this afternoon. And young people, if you listened, take something back with you. Have a different conversation with your peers on the, wherever you line. Have a different conversation. Inspire, empower, create, change. But I want to say to those of us who are a little older, I want to use the words of Kerry Underwood who posited. Successful people have a social responsibility to make the world a better place and not just take from it. And I'm saying that based on something that came out of Mr. Jonathan's remarks. It is not enough on our part to condemn our youth and to speak of all the ills in our society. We are responsible for our society just as much as our youth are responsible. And so we need to come out of our closed doors. As professionals, we need to come out and mix and mingle with our youth. You don't necessarily have to do it on the field, but take time to influence a young mind so that we would be fulfilling our social responsibility. Monrepo can do better if we work together, young and old, learn from each other,
and make the community one that we will always be proud of and our children will be safe living in. I thank you. I'm sorry, it's just that, the teacher in us, we don't allow moments to pass by and not remind ourselves and our children of how valuable life is. And youth, this is your moment to shine. Later on, you have to pass it on and allow somebody else to shine. Don't let these opportunities pass you by. Be the best version of yourself. And of course, I like that. Failure is not fatal. Just because you don't get an award today doesn't mean that it's the end. But rather, it should propel you to try harder. Look within yourself. There is something that every person is good at. And use that to allow you to shine. Now, many persons contributed to the success of our community, to the success of our youth. And at this juncture, I want to invite Mr. Glenn Wilson to tell us about that new award that was infused into the celebration today, Les 6 Communes Awards. Let's put our hands together as we welcome him again.
Thank you again. Thank you so very much, Mrs. Joseph. One of the things we sought to do was that we wanted to profit this opportunity to recognize the persons who paved the way for us here in the great state of Monrepo, I like to call it. And I'm going to digress a little bit. I try to write everything here because I think, like Flora, I speak a lot. But I will digress this time around. Yesterday, in preparation for this, we wanted to recognize those persons in community. Some of them have gone before us, and nonetheless, we thought we should. But the experience that we had yesterday was very, very thought-provoking and sort of life-altering for me. So we were able to, we decided to recognize some of those persons, like our teachers, our older teachers who held our hands and taught us, and all these other nice things that happened in community. And I saw grown men cry yesterday. Grown men cried yesterday. So our PRO, Damian Jabatis, and I, along with Mulandra's husband, we decided that we were going to go surprise some people in community. And the expectation was that we would have done that within 2 hours. However, we returned home at 11 o'clock in the night. After 2 shots of whiskey, 4 Heinekens and 2 Peters, and a bottle of white wine. Yes, was that? Oh yes, we were also celebrating our youth workers' wedding anniversary as well. So the husband was with us. She was, however, doing work for community in Castries and what have you. So I thought I should share with you what we experienced yesterday when we went to the homes of community persons, ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things or have done extraordinary things and continue to do extraordinary things in community. And literally grown men cried. So we decided that these people, and we term them the essence of the community, les 6 communes, as we call them, because they truly have left the aroma and the scent that we can follow, that path to follow to greatness, like they did for our community. And for me, as I mentioned, it was really life-altering, and it made me feel differently. Because one of the things that I think myself and my executive members feel is that our term as the executive of the Monrepo Youth and Sports Council is long overdue. We've tried to call for elections maybe 4 or 5 times, and we're not seeing participation from our affiliates. So clearly there's something that we need to address. But many times I hear my colleagues tell me, Glenn, I no longer want to do that. Glenn, I'm fed up. And I started to feel that way. But yesterday, the experience that I had I started to rethink and thought, maybe if there are persons who are so much older than me who are doing it, and despite all of the challenges that they face, despite all of the mépris that they get, nonetheless, they've continued. And so we will take on the mépris for a little bit longer, Elsa. Thank you so very much. So with that said, I want to ask Mrs. Sylvina James to please stand up. Miss Elsa Maffrey to please stand up. Mr. Selva Wilson to please stand up. Mr. Damian Jabatis to please sit down. He's already standing. Miss Mina Sidoni to please stand up. And Miss Minelva Simeon to please stand up. These are the persons who, for the past almost 25 years, have been really shouldering and carrying the little that we have of the Monrepo Youth and Sports Council. And I want today to publicly say thank you to you all for your support, your strength, and for being there even when there are times that we want to give up. I post something in our group or I call somebody and usually the response is, okay, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to do this? Where can I do this? And so forth. Despite the, Glenn, I'm not doing that anymore. But they are always there and I appreciate that and I thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now you may sit down. All right, so to go on with our lessons coming. We owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to many builders, innovators, shapers, and community developers who have come before us. There are so many special Monreponians whose personal courage, lifetime dedication, and selflessness as human beings have inspired many to follow in their footsteps and do their part in the development of our celebrated community, the great state of Monrepo, the only state in the fair Helen of the West Indies. We like to acknowledge that debt and pay tribute to those true essence of community, these loyal, hardworking lifelines, by naming a few of them now. Amel Mathring, Cynthia Charles, Mary James, Flora Emmanuel Joseph, Greta Joseph, Kaylan Joseph, Marcella William. Marcella William is our Dame Buche in the Laos group. Yes, that's her name. Marilyn Gaston, Brenda Wilson, Emma Serrier, Agatha Fevrier Shalry, Teacher Brenda, Deacon Marcella Serrier, Alson Matelli, Gilbert Dolce, Sylvia Shalry, Marjorie Serrier, Jennifer Malze, Nicola Jabatis, Faustina Faisal, Pamela Charles, Dennis Copra James, Nurse Annie Serrier, Sylvester Tad James, Matthew Wilson, Walter Emmanuel, Joanna Shalmine, better known as Tinon, Heather Joseph, Rosemary Pierre, Deacon Vincent Norbert, and many, many, many more. They are truly the essence of Monreponess. Les sens communes Mopo. We honor you, we remember you, we pay homage and thank you for your steadfastness, spirit, and love. Plants, flowers, and other foliage symbolizes emotions, ideas, and actions. There is even evidence of plant symbolism in literature, art, and folklore as early as the ancient Greeks and likely other comparable civilizations. Plant and flower symbolisms have appeared throughout history in religious texts like the Bible, in art and literature during the Middle Ages, including the Shakespearean plays, all the way into modern day culture. So what we did, all of our lessons, the list goes on, there are a lot more, I just decided to mention a few of them. We showed our appreciation by giving them, the males we gave a citrus tree and the females we gave orchids. So this was the award and the appreciation that we showed to our lessons yesterday. And as I mentioned, some of the men cried. I recall specifically Mr. Louis Fernand Fons and his wife, they cried. Brenda cried, Miss Marjorie Serre cried, Jalion, Rodney, Marlon, Peter, it's not Price. I don't remember his last name. Yes, but Rodney was one of our listeners as well. And he was actually he was the first person that we went to, and he was so emotional when we presented him with a citrus tree, and he thought, yes. And it was, for me, it touched me very much so. So I'm very proud of this. So we want to share with you now a short video of small tokens that we presented to some of so many visionaries and marrows of our great state of Mon Repos. Video.
If you give a little more than you take, and if you try to fix more than you break, if you're the kind who takes the time to help a stranger in the rain, there's a place for people like you. If you stand up for those down on their knees and lend a voice to those who cannot speak, if you shine a little light, give sight to the ones who've lost their way, there's a place for people like you. I've heard that the streets are made of gold, and when you get there, there's a hand to hold. Your days down here are through, there's a place up there for people like you. If you walk around with your heart on your sleeve, and if you're trying to be the change you want to see, if you lay down your life for love so someone could be saved, there's a place for people like you. I heard that the streets are made of gold, and when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days down here are through, there's a place out there for people like you. There's a place up there for people like you. Out of many, one people we are. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. If you give a little more than you take, and if you try to fix more than you break, if you're the kind who takes the time to help a stranger in the rain, there's a place for people like you. If you stand up for those down on their knees and lend a voice to those who cannot speak, if you shine a little light, give sight to the ones who've lost their way, there's a place for people like you. I've heard that the streets are made of gold, and when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days down here are through, there's a place up there for people like you. If you walk around with your heart on your sleeve,
you would experience what we experienced last night. See, when you got to that stage where you clapped, that was day. So I would naturally were expecting it would have ended then, but you notice that the photo started to get darker. So it took us into night. So see how long it took us. In addition to that, I forgot to mention, not only were we served with drinks, Mrs. Sherry gave us bouillon. Remember that, me? We were given bouillon, yes, we were given bouillon as well. And we drank 5 Fingers gin, we drank breadfruit vodka, we drank Dashin vodka, banana vodka, all produced here in St. Lucia. There's a gentleman from Germany, he's in Casablanca. We actually met him at Foxgrove. He came down to Monrepo to purchase mangoes and breadfruits, and he doesn't want the good ones, you know, he wants the ones that are already spoiling. He has farmers that he purchases it from, and he goes back to Casablanca and he produces those drinks, all locally made. My favorite was the 5 Fingers gin. Yes, Mina, I thought of you too because I know you like gin as well. So I thought, yeah, Mina would have liked that one as well. But honestly, they're really, really nice. And he says they now sell at Massy Gourmet. Most of the hotels have them. So when you do go to the hotels, ask for the local gin and vodka from St. Lucia. And they also on Instagram and so forth. I forgot the name, but once you look for the 5 Fingers gin, you will see it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. And of course, they didn't tell you that I was just coming out of my bathroom and then 3 people are walking in. It's true. But what I liked about it is that it was nobody knew, and so you got an opportunity to see how thankful people were in their own space. So thank you, whoever came up with the idea. Thank you very much on behalf of the awardees. I did tell you that today would have been educational, and of course you were learning quite a bit. I thought Gary would have given us the information and told all those persons, all of us who have breadfruit spoiling and all kind of fruit spoiling. These days, everything's spoiling. There's so much, there's an abundance. Tell us, Gary, so that we could tell the youth and they will go and ask for the breadfruits and we can get something going. Or be creative. One of you seated here or one of you watching in your living rooms, think of how you can use those fruits. The ground provisions, all of what we have in abundance, think of how you can use it and make something of it. And next year, when we come to the award ceremony, you will get the award for the most innovative, the most creative youth, and I will sponsor that award. So, now you've heard a lot from me and a lot from everybody, and I know you're excited. You want to know what it is that you're getting. And so I will no longer talk, but rather I will call on our orators to get ready, as we invite Mr. Nyron Tilliam to assist with the presentation of the Sports Awards at this time. So I now hand over to, I apologize, oh yes. While you get ready to hear who's getting awards, let's get some entertainment going. We have a lot of talent in Monrepo. Our youth, as Gary indicated, they are extremely talented. And of course, put your hands together, make some noise. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome on stage our very own, hey, people, if you are at a concert, you'll not be seated there like that. Whoa, 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 put your hands together, let's make some noise. Let's welcome our very own Levon Sele. Woo! Now he coming, listen, let's do that again. Yes, all the girls, stand up girls. Hey, all the girls. Hey, all the females, listen, yeah. Leave one. Oh, yes, if Leave One was coming, had come down from a plane. Make some noise.
Good day, everybody.
I did it.
Said it's leave on, yeah. Cause I'm a leave on, yeah. They say fireflies are in the sky tonight. And they say
Downs might shake the way you rise, but I'm on my way, yeah. I'm paving the way. I put in a day's work. I'm making a pay. And they say fireflies are in the skies, and they gon' keep you down, they'll break your fight. So when you up, don't let them play. Just hit the gas to win the race. And been at it so long and minute made, but we gonna get the pay. Cause they blocking, they hate to shine. Our movement's been strategized. They keeping us paralyzed, but I'm gonna get what's mine. Yeah, it's that pressure, yeah. Never let them let up. It's too much money to be made, don't make them bench you. Just keep them shook and never leave without a ransom. You better scare them, boy, you better throw a tantrum. Cause they say fireflies are in the skies tonight. And they say ups and downs might shape the way you rise, but I'm on my way, yeah. I'm paving the way, put in a day.
By the way, none of these songs are released, so y'all are getting preferential treatment. Watch ya. Look, every day me I work so hard, I bet you never see. But every time me I hold a medicine, that's why you are come free. And them I talk, them can block it, nobody not step into me. My brother, when you get one life, yeah, you not go get three. So me I live my life, you know, just a bless a good vibes for sure. And I waste no time, you know, just bust up and touch the road. Just I live my life, you know, just I chase a good vibes for sure. And I waste no time, you know, just bust up and touch the road. So when the good days come, better take it. And when the bad them arise, better face it. Opportunities bring success, so face it. All dreams should be chasing. Said I'm tired of all the loose ends, been exclusive with these movements, yeah. Been on the rock, what I've been doing, but the snakes, they come in like some true friends, yeah. But I've been on my vibe, yeah. You're not killing my high, yeah. This is what I decide, I'm gonna get what's mine, yeah. Said I've been on my vibe, yeah. This is what I decide, yeah. I'm gonna get what's mine, yeah. Thank you.
You know, when you go to the concert, you have to, come on girls, come on. Let's hear it for Levon. Very good. Young people trying to put their talent into something positive. And you know what? Livon is smart. He had one for the ladies, for the older folks, because you know we have the money. And he had one for the little ones, you know, because you know we have to get the youth on board. Our country is predominantly youth. But we need the money too, so I like that, Livon. And I'm saying that because sometimes young people, when you get into your music, you have to understand that the older ones, we like it a certain way. You know, so you have to take care of our needs, so we'll buy the albums and we'll support you. And of course, you carry your crowd behind you because they'll be the ones falling at your feet, you know. All right. So, Mr. Tillium, please come at this time. All right. Our first award today is the award for the most outstanding youth organization. I invite Mr. Andy Bell as well as Mr. Tillium. Orators.
Outstanding Youth Organization, the Monrepo Athletics Academy. The Monrepo Athletics Academy was established in October 2016 as an initiative of the Monrepo Youth and Sports Council with support from the United States Peace Corps. A strong team of dedicated leaders ensured that Monrepo had a consistent program to deliver athletics within the community in a sustainable model. Initial coaches and administrators included the Monrepo Youth and Sports Council Executive, Andy Bell, Yandra Victorin, Melissa Joseph, Mickey Ferdinand, Rosen Daniel, Selva Wilson, and Leslie Shalry. Over the coming years, the team balanced the responsibilities of delivering the Saturday program at the Pasias playing field, writing proposals, managing athletics meets, and advancing the program. The Monrepo Athletics Academy was successful in sourcing high jump equipment, hurdles, and starting blocks with assistance from the Australian High Commission in 2017, and in 2018, with further support from the Australian High Commission and other national stakeholders, opened up the Community Jumps Centre in partnership with the Vidbutei Secondary School. This initiative has produced multiple Carifta qualifiers, which unfortunately have not had the chance to compete at that level due to COVID. The Monrepo Athletics Academy has emerged as an active and impactful organization at both the local and national level, including hosting the first ever secondary schools pole vault championships in 2019 and the St. Lucia Pole Vault Summit. As protocols allow training and practices to resume, the Monrepo Athletics Academy seeks to be further integrated with the Monrepo Pasias Combined School, reaching more students on a consistent basis, and thereby creating a stronger base of athletes in the future for Monrepo. Let us put our hands together for the outstanding youth organization, Monrepo Athletics Academy.
The award was received on behalf of the Athletics Organization by Mr. Andy Bell. Oops, let me go up. I now invite the representative of the Pasias Youth Organization to make your way on stage at this time. Orators.
Outstanding Youth Organization. This youth organization was established on the 31st of August 1985 by the great Dennis Corporate James and a group of concordant individuals. During its existence, the group has played a valuable role in the lives of the residents of Pasias. The club has impacted the community both socially and environmentally through cleanup campaigns, community beautification activities, fun sports, football, cricket, games night, hiking, youth mentoring, and cookouts. The organization also takes part in all football and cricket competitions within the community. In 2018, it emerged as champions of Honorable Dr. Gil T.C. Rigobert football tournament. They were also second runner-up for the M Cup cricket competition in 2019 and in 2020. The third place in 2019, and in 2020, third place local in the annual road relay. The Pastures Youth Organization continues to strive to meet the modern demands and interests of the youth in our community as it seeks to impart a better sense of esprit de corps within our organization, the Pastures Youth Organization.
We will now present the award for outstanding youth in athletics. Ferdinand to make his way at this time. Orators.
Outstanding youth in athletics. Mickey Ferdinand grew up in Deriso and became involved in the sport of pole vaulting and track and field through Coach Andre Rodney at the Mickwood Secondary School and Coach Andy Bell in 2009. Mickey continued his journey in pole vaulting over the next 5 years, earning a gold medal for St. Lucia at the 2014 Carifta Games, following in the footsteps of Marguerite's Shem Edward. At the same time, Mickey also transitioned into high jump discipline. In 2017, as he was also assisting as Coach Mickey for Mopo AC, Mickey emerged as the nation's top current high jumper. With a jump of 2.15 meters that year, Mickey would have been competitive at the top collegiate ranks in the United States. Mickey was quick to give back to the club and community, hosting a pole vault clinic after a training stint in Grenada and multiple high jump clinics for Mopo AC youth and top junior high jumpers nationally. Mickey also was a critical driver when Mopo AC established the Community Jumps Center at the Vidbutai Secondary School in 2018. In 2018, Mickey's big chance came with a full scholarship to Texas A&M Commerce University near Dallas, Texas. Mickey returned to the island in December of 2019 to assist with Mopo's AC St. Lucia Pole Vault Summit. In 2021, Mickey became an NCAA Division II Indoor Track and Field All-American with a third place finish at the National Championships. He followed up the indoor season with a second-term All-American finish at the Outdoor National Championships. Monrepo Athletics Academy remains Mickey's home club here in St. Lucia. The community has benefited from his leadership and support in the coaching realm as an athlete. He is shining at the next level and opening doors for the youth behind him. Ladies and gentlemen, Mickey Ferdinand.
And of course, the award was received on behalf of Mickey Ferdinand by Mr. Andy Bell. We also recognize our outstanding youth in athletics, Miss Michelle Alphonse.
Michelle Alphonse was a graduate of the Pastures Combined School. She was an early and consistent participant in the Monrepo Athletics Academy Saturday afternoon programming. Michelle emerged on the national scene in May 2019 as she qualified for the 14 and under national championships alongside 6 other youth from Monrepo AC. At the championships, Michelle placed third in the pentathlon against a much more experienced field. She displayed strength in the ball throw and held her position in the high jump. After a year at Beaufort Comprehensive Secondary School, Michelle transferred to the St. Lucia Sports Academy in 2020. In this program, she continues her journey towards representing her country at the Carifta Games in the years ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, Michelle Alphonse.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tilliam. We now invite Mr. Marius Charles to assist with the presentations at this time. We continue with our recognition of our outstanding youth in cricket.
So our next award goes to Mr. Keon Gasto. I just received a text message from his dad who says, "Hey Glenn, I want to apologize for Keon's absence. He is representing the Sports Academy in the semi-finals under 19 cricket game today. In fact, they won over Grosley under 19. I thought that was awesome, so that was what I text back. And he said he actually took 4 wickets. So congratulations to Keon. He's not able to be with us here today.
And of course, Keon was very smart. He proved that he was deserving of the award. 4 wickets down. Thank you, Keon. Go out there and represent. And so we continue with the recognition of our outstanding youth in cricket. Miss Genevieve Augustine. Sorry, I have a typo. Miss Genevieve Augustine.
Miss Genevieve Augustine is from Lapwet and started playing cricket at an early age. She developed a love for it throughout the years. She has played at the community level throughout her years at the Pastures Combined School. At present, she attends the Beanville Comprehensive Secondary School, where she is the captain of the girls' cricket team. Genevieve believes with hard work and determination, she will get where she wants to be one day. We celebrate her achievements so far and cheers and shoot for the stars.
Thank you. We continue now with the award for Outstanding Youth in Football. Mr. Yord Fevrier, could you make your way to the stage now?
Outstanding Youth in Football. Mr. Yord Fevrier comes from humble beginnings and attended the Monrepo Combined School. During his childhood days, football was nothing more than a competitive lunchtime match to pass time. After moving on to the Viewford Comprehensive Secondary School and then Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, his passion for football began to grow. His eagerness caused him to join a club and was eager to model the talents of the Chelsea football greats like Didier Drogba, Mario Balotelli, and Karim Benzema. He has played for the Creation Sports and where he tasted his first bit of senior competition. He also played for La Pointe 4H, where a good friend and past coach, Simon Descats, or Talu, would take him under his wing and personally train him. He currently plays for TGM, where he is the team's captain. They recently won their first championship at the community level, where Yod received the MVP award. Yod suffered a tragic injury on his home turf at the Wen playing field versus the St. Lucia national youth team. At that time, the degree of the injury made it difficult to stay positive. However, the experience gave him mental strength. With the support of his friends and family, he was able to remain persistent on his goal. After recovering from the injury, he obtained an opportunity to participate in the 2017 Free Kick Foundation Player Showcase, where he would showcase his abilities to several U.S. colleges which were recruiting. His good performance at the College Player Showcase resulted in an invitation to national training for tryout by the technical director, Mr. Seth Ford. Ironically, he made the same national youth team that he got injured against. There, he represented the island in the Super League, where they won runners-up. This was where Yod first learned how being best comes with hard work. After the tournament, he traveled to the United States to play collegiate soccer for Concordia College, Alabama. He then moved on to play for Talladega College, where he completed his bachelor's degree in business administration. Being a student athlete was a very special experience. He is extremely thankful to God for his talents and abilities, as well as his extremely supportive family and coaches who saw the potential in him. Football gave him an opportunity to utilize his talents, earn opportunities to a higher level of education, and teach him life lessons. Blood, sweat, and tears have been left on the pitch literally and molded him into the individual that he is off to the pitch. His message to the youth of Monrepo: Trust God and always work hard and stay humble because no hard work goes unrewarded. We salute you, Mr. Fevrier.
Outstanding Youth in Football, female, Aaliyah Nelson. Miss Aaliyah Nelson started playing football at the age of 10 years. The first team she ever played for was Young Strikers. She played defensive left wing, where she was awarded Most Defensive Player twice while playing with this team. Aaliyah has also played the women's under-22 tournament with the under-15 national team. Her achievements to date are noteworthy, and we celebrate her. Outstanding Youth in Football, Aaliyah Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Charles, for assisting with the awards. We now invite Mr. Silver Wilson to assist with the next round of awards.
Outstanding Sports Coach, Andre Cherubin. Andre Cherubin is a 47-year-old from Pasias, originally from Oribo. He started playing football at a very young age. He participated in school, senior and veterans football competition in and for our community. Andre started the Monipo grassroots football program by training children ages 6 to 13 and youth ages 14 to 17 years old. He worked as a football coach on the NICE sports program for a year and 6 months at all primary schools in the community. He is also a coach and a first aid assistant for the senior team. Two of his greatest achievements were when one of the youth members from his digital Kickstart program Two of his greatest achievements were when one of his youth members from his digital Kickstart program with the Chelsea club team went abroad to play. And the second one was holding the position as assistant coach of the Monipo team when they became victorious in the SLFA Under-21 football competition for the first time. Mr. Cherubin, we applaud your contributions, and today we celebrate your achievements.
Outstanding Sports Coach, Melissa Joseph. Melissa Joseph is a resident of Monarico and currently works as a track and field coach in the National Lotteries Association after-school program at the Deriso Combined School. Riding and farming are her pastimes, but her favorite activity is playing sports. For 12 years, she was able to fulfill her dream of playing competitive football. Her coaching journey began in 2006 and continues until today. She is a trained coach who has been coaching football in the community. Ms. Joseph's accomplishments include completion of many technical training courses, one of which titled Football for Lives, a grassroots soccer training for trainers which teaches kids about AIDS and stigma discrimination. To date, she works to build a female football team in the community. Ms. Melissa is multi-talented. She has facilitated sports at the very first community after-school program and also coaches track and field. While she is driven by her love for community, youth development and electricity of winning, she laments over the inadequate levels of community support her programs receive. As a sports coach, her overarching goal is to help kids unlock their potential and help them become outstanding youth in sports in the community. Her personal goal is to simply pay it forward. Coach, your accomplishments are being recognized in the community by both young and older folks. Ms. Joseph, we salute you and celebrate your hard work.
Outstanding Sports Coach, Mr. Johnson Williams. Mr. Johnson Williams is a player coach of Prale who is passionate about his sporting discipline. He has coached the Monripo senior team and assisted with the Monrepo Under-19 team. His coaching mechanics were critical to the tournaments which were won during his coaching tenure. He has also coached and nurtured youth at the grassroots level. Currently, he coaches the female football team, and his contribution to this field is outstanding. We celebrate his achievements. Mr. Johnson Williams.
Outstanding sports coach, Yandra Victorin. Yandra Victorin hails from the community of Posthumous, Monrepo. She has been a track star from a tender age until she retired in 2002 due to injuries. Yandra's love for the sports has motivated her to pass on her skills and knowledge to the younger generation as a volunteer at the primary school level. From there, she became a coach with the Mopo AC, where she created joy for her, which created joy for her and the children entrusted in her care. In 2017, she expanded her expertise as a YAL, Youth Athlete Leader, with the British Athletes Association. Then she proceeded to further her coaching skills in London, where she became a national trainer. At present, Ms. Victorin is a track and field coach associated with a primary school in the south of the island. We celebrate her achievement thus far.
Esteemed Challenge Award, Gaius Mathray. Gaius Mathray has been deeply involved in sports in the community from a very tender age, first as an outstanding youth talent and then as a coach and administrator. He has represented the Flames Sports Club, South Wales Sports Club, and ultimately the Grassroots Youth and Sports Club. He influenced many victories in those days, especially as a U19 opening batsman and a senior level footballer. Unfortunately, as a result of vehicular accident, he has lost much of his mobility, but is incredibly still passionately involved in the community development. As a coach, he has coached the Monrepo U21 football and currently applies his talents to the grassroots senior football team, as well as its Saturday grassroots program. It is not uncommon to see his youth players pushing his wheelchair on a Saturday morning as they get ready to train. As an administrator, he is a founding member of the Monrepo football community and is still a part of the executive team. In addition, he has managed the senior team for many years, hosted the Big Pot Club. He is one of the most committed individuals in the community, and it is because of him that this club and community teams have such a high participation rate in football competitions and even in events like the Road Relay. Ladies and gentlemen, Gaius Mathray.
Thank you. And of course, Gaius continues to remind us that nothing can prevent you from achieving. Only you can prevent yourself from getting where you want to. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Mr. Wilson. I now invite Mr. Talium to come up once again as we continue with the Sports Awards.
Esteemed Award for Sporting Excellence, Clivert Mitchell. Clivert Mitchell was born January 23, 2000 in the community of Loba, Monrepo, and attended the Meekwood Secondary School. Unlike some of the other local and national riders, Clivert's pathway to professional road cycling didn't come through a track program. After many successes, he participated in the 10 lap 7-kilometer race mixed with juniors and juveniles in 2017. There he ended with a time of 13 minutes 33.35 seconds in a bunch sprint. Clivert continued to outshine his peers in the following years. Some of his accomplishments include Junior Cyclist of the Year, where he participated in the Grand Prix des Artisans du Fossois held in Martinique in 2018. The race was held over a distance of 84 kilometers in Fossois, Martinique, with 65 cyclists participating, of which 32 were juniors. He also won the 2018 Independence Criterium 10-lap juvenile event in 13 minutes 19.54 seconds. Some of his other achievements include the Grand Prix du Foyer Royal de Mon Acajou Ye de François in March of 2018, Stage 1, 15.63 kilometers, 32nd place, 4th place junior in 25 minutes, 8.53 seconds. General classification, 214 kilometers, 41st place, 11th junior in 6 hours, 14 minutes, 31 seconds. In March 15th to 18th, 2018, the Criterion des Quartiers de la Montagne, stage 3.1, 93.7 kilometers, 42nd place, 5th junior in 2 hours, 42 minutes, 20 seconds, at 9 minutes, 53 seconds behind the winner. Trophy de la Caraïbe in 2018, the team participated in the first stage, 29th March 2018, 111.2 kilometers road race with 116 riders, consisting of 31 under 23 riders and 34 juniors, with Clivert Mitchell placing 53rd in the overall and 11th place junior, in a time of 3 hours, 13 minutes, 33 seconds. The second stage, on Friday, the 20th of March 2018, a 20.2 individual time trial with 105 riders starting, consisting of 31 under 23 riders and 33 junior riders, with Clivert placing in the 69th spot and 11th place junior, in a time of 35 minutes, 13.05 seconds. Mr. Mitchell, we celebrate your achievements and wish you all the best in the future.
Esteemed Award for Sporting Excellence, Repos Veteran Football Club. Unfortunately, we have no write-up for Repos Veterans Football Club, so we want to wish you all the best and say thank you.
Can the representative come and
can I, or Andre is going to take it on their behalf. Thank you, Andre.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tilliam, and of course, thank you to our orators. We have just concluded the Sports Awards, so I invite you to give a round of applause to all those who were recipients of those awards today. I know your heart is racing. Your pulse is, oh my God, it's unreadable. So I'll give you a moment to breathe. And while you breathe, we will invite Mrs. Lise Faisal Phillips to do one of her poems for us at this time.
Good day, everybody. This poem is entitled, What I Am to Poetry. Poetry. You are nothing without me. Without my nonsensical feelings wrapped in a pen I clutch with my fist, splashing onto this sheet the mimicking ink that spills out my lyrics, the thoughts snatched out of my cerebrum and the sculpted masterpiece crafted with intense concentration. You are nothing without me. There is nowhere in this world you'd be if you hadn't slipped your hands up my mind's stress as we echo the soft silhouettes of thoughts unclear in distant corners of the horizon. And me, putting down the rhythm of how good it felt when you made love to me, penetrating my thoughts and gyrating inside me, my brain filled with words from the high of cocaine, implanted and rooted in the blood flowing through my veins, becoming addictively insane. Oh, poetry. You have no idea what you've done to me. And while you brainwashed me till I made sense of every stanza as they came all over this blank piece of paper, it was me, carving poetic librettos to a language you and I decipher. If it wasn't for the creative thoughts perfected by perfecting you, the emotional connection acquired with some perplexity seeping through, the effortless efforts of this lyrical intervention that you're susceptible to, there would be no you. There would be no metaphorical finesse to connect my rhythmical sonnet. There would be no rhythm in rhymes released as I deliver my poetic bliss. There would be no endless echoing of words in the depths of my mind as they flow fruitfully, vivaciously. There would be no you without me. No me combining delicious ingredients of thoughts eloquently. No me expressing expressions, jotting emotions incessantly. No poetry. No turning life to color, with intellectual excellence painted on canvas, with the evidence of my presence reflecting the words I utter. So poetry. You need to accept the inevitable escapade of our destiny, that our souls are bonded and we cannot function separately. Poetry. You will remain a part of me, but you are and will always be nothing without me. Thank you.
Great job, great job. Let's make some more noise. Well done. And of course, our poet had some of us, some of you. I'm not in that. I'm innocent. Some people were gyrating with the words, Liz. You know, when the words, the poem was gyrating inside of them, you know. But shh, that's one of the show. Well done, Liz. I'm very proud of you. Give her a round of applause. And I can see Terry putting lots of comments online at this time. We acknowledge Terry. He used to be a very active member of the Youth and Sports Committee when he was with us. So, yes, you represented Liz. Great job. And you represented women too, females, you know. Great job. Yay! Let's hear it for the women. Let's hear it for the women. Yes. All right. Okay, we continue now. So your pulse is okay now. Your heart is okay now. So we can continue. We continue now with the Excellence Award. I invite Mr. Jonathan Chalon to assist with those presentations.
Esteemed Award for Sporting Excellence. Outstanding Fellow in Youth Work, Grassroots Youth and Sports Club. The Grassroots Youth and Sports Club was established in November 1985. Over the years, the members pride themselves on holistic individual development that harness natural skills and ability. The club focuses on this type of development because they believe that these attributes are necessary for the progress of our youth and by extension, our community. Their programming intends to foster greater community spirit among our members, provide opportunities for growth with sporting as well as social avenues, create and facilitate avenues for the development of the youth members of our club, make the Grassroots Youth and Sports Club an outstanding model for all clubs across the island. The club has coordinated several football, cricket, and other sporting competitions, as well as youth and community development programs. Their integration of non-sporting activities into their programming, that is food nights, speech training, public speaking, camping, and camping. This aids to continuously provide a wholesome menu for the development of the club. Thank you.
Outstanding Youth in Entrepreneurship, Ms. Minerva Simeon. Minerva Simeon is a 26-year-old native from Loba and the owner of Avalanche Creations. She has been an active member of clubs within the community from 2008 and has served in various capacities. She is the president of the Loba Youth and Sports Club, Assistant Secretary, Monrepo Youth and Sports Council, Assistant Secretary of Monrepo Football League, PRO Monrepo Red Cross, and a local tutor within the Ministry of Youth Development. Minerva has a great passion for youth empowerment and youth development. She believes that every child needs a mentor, an adult who understands them, and the power of connection. An adult mentor who will insist that they become the best that they can possibly be and be there to listen and guide them. She strongly believes, as Nelson Mandela said, the youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. Before starting her own business, Minerva served as a firefighter for 3 years. Her proudest moment in life thus far is starting her own business and becoming her own boss. One saying she goes by states, "Failure and hard times are often blessings in disguise. Let go and let life strengthen you. Soar high in the direction of your dreams. Do not be embarrassed about losses, boss up." Miss Minerva, we congratulate you and celebrate your triumphs.
Outstanding Youth in Entrepreneurship, Melandra Giddings Wilson. Born and raised in the small community of Prale, and given that the values of resilience, hard work, and perseverance were instilled in her at a tender age, it is no surprise that Melandra Giddings Wilson gravitated towards the entrepreneurship world. As the managing director of local enterprises, along with her husband, Melandra has been planting, harvesting, and exporting sea moss for the past 4 years. She has since extended her product to include other local products, such as spices and teas. In 2020, Melandra added to her entrepreneurship cap as she assumed ownership of Rainbow Care Preschool located in Prale. As an entrepreneur, Melandra has strived to encourage and assist other young persons in joining the entrepreneurship arena. She also provides volunteer opportunities at her preschool where young persons are able to learn and develop a skill whilst job hunting. Mrs. Giddings Wilson, we celebrate your accomplishments and say a big thank you. Melandra Giddings Wilson.
Outstanding Youth in Entrepreneurship, Wedel Tuxin Descart. Mr. Descart is the owner of Top Cut Barbershop located in Patience. He has been a barber for approximately 7 years, where he fulfills the beauty thirst of many men and women in the community and beyond. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Mr. Descart altered his services to house visits, where he brought fresh looks to the community members within the comfort of their homes. As part of his social corporate responsibility, Mr. Descart partnered with the Monrepo Youth and Sports Council in the community in a community-wide initiative by providing free haircuts to students returning to school during the academic year of 2018-2019, I suppose. Mr. Descart is a rising star in his profession, and we celebrate his contributions to our community.
Outstanding Youth in Visual Arts, Chelsea Raphael. Chelsea Raphael is a 16-year-old self-taught artist who currently attends the Viewfort Comprehensive Secondary School. Raphael studies art at school and credits this subject with uncovering her talent. Since then, she has been motivated to be the best in this field and become a well-known artist representing St. Lucia in the national arenas. As a budding young artist, she has participated in competitions hosted by hotels and other entities to get the exposure that she aims for. She has also taken part in an art exhibition hosted for students. At the school, she has done paints for students for certain activities such as T-shirt signing day, hosted for Form 5s. This contribution also extended to other secondary school students who showed interest from other schools. She looks forward to making further contributions to her country and her community.
Outstanding Youth in Visual Arts, Ted Atkins. Ted Atkins was born and raised in the small community of Vietnam in Patience. He has been devoted to the arts from a very tender age of 4. He began his artistic training at an early age with friends like Wesley Amede, an avid painter himself. His work is inspired by the relationship between art, music, and nature. His work includes painting, drawing, but his real passion is tattooing. He is a diverse artist accomplished in all styles of custom tattooing, from photorealism to complex cover-ups and repairs. He enjoys a challenge, such as transforming a tattoo into something totally new and different. Seeing the before and after of the process is one of the most exhilarating experiences for me, he says. His goal is to create an instant positive reaction each and every time he shows a client the initial drawing of their new tattoo, and to help inspire more youth in this line of work, while dispelling the negative myths surrounding tattooing. We celebrate you, Mr. Atkins. Outstanding Youth in Visual Arts, Deville Shallery. And we move on. Outstanding Youth, sorry about that.
Thank you, Mr. Shalom. We continue with the awards. I invite Mrs. Maybe I'm preempting things. Miss Mina Sidoni to assist with the awards.
Outstanding Youth in Performing Arts, Yanette James. The preservation of culture and heritage has been what intrigues her for the most. Miss Yanette James is from the vibrant community of Mon Repos. She spent the early part of her life with her grandparents. Her experiences and interactions with them allowed her to become well-versed in Creole. Irel Gaston, better known as Marilyn, and Greta Joseph served as her cultural mentors. Her accomplishments include winner of the 2012 Miss Independence Pralin, first runner-up in the 2013 La Jeunesse Creole in Mon Repos, 2013 Miss Campus B. Yanette was a consistent participant in junior calypso competitions as well. Her first love and the thing she is very passionate about has been folk. She learned the traditional wake, and the sound of the taboo is a call from heaven to her waist. From 2014, she founded a small group called Sukuate, which comprised of 2 men and herself. They would visit various schools on Creole Day or Independence to provide the students with cultural entertainment. As a chaperone, she reciprocated the same energy she received as a young pageant queen to students of the Mon Repos Combined and Vifort secondary schools. She has also visited Martinique a few times to represent St. Lucia at cultural exchanges. She plays the role of police officer in the Mon Repos La Rose group while helping the lead Châteauelle. She has also advanced the group, that is the Mon Repos La Rose group, to its new social media presence. In 2019, Yanette was invited to England to share her knowledge on the structure and formation of a La Rose group. They were successful in forming a La Rose group and celebrated the feast on September 2019. In 2020, She founded a charity called Soulage, which translates to bringing comfort and relief. She hosted a cultural workshop for 25 children with members from Avot Service and Miss Mary James. She now composes Creole songs and poetry and has great hopes of contributing more effectively in the cultural domain. We salute you, Janet. Your determination and contribution to our folk identity and celebrations are well received. Miss Janet James.
Outstanding Youth in Performing Arts, Livon Seeley. Livon is a 25-year-old artist raised in Montborden, Pasias, and is currently employed with the Department of Home Affairs. His music journey began in 2012 when he left secondary school, initially doing short freestyles to upload on social media. After doing this for a period of time, he began putting pen to task, writing lyrics and working on songs. Though his music career took a short pause due to personal reasons, he never stopped writing and producing. He orchestrated a full comeback to the music scene in 2020 with a new style and sounds that include hits like "Spend Some Time With Me," sorry, "Why Me," "On Hold Me." I hope I'm doing it good. He's a rising megastar in this genre of music and promises to deliver more hits. We celebrate you, Livon.
Outstanding Youth in Social Development. Molisha Hippolyte. Molisha was born in St. Lucia, in Magwetu to be exact. She was born on the 21st day of June, 1982. Many people in this life are void of purpose and are clueless about their passions. Molisha is not one of those people. From a very young age, Molisha knew that she wanted to connect with people, the less fortunate and marginalized, to be exact. Her love for people can be evidenced in her deep roots and connectivity in the constituency where she is from. Because of Molisha's outgoing and caring personality, she obviously has been a volunteer throughout the constituency in a myriad of groups and settings. She has volunteered through churches, schools, and various groups, all aiming to bring some sort of service and support to her community members. She is a community person at heart, and that is also expressed through her position as the administrator and treasurer for the Margaretwood Community Trust. She has also participated in the 2020 Independence Creole debate. It is no surprise that her team captured the title of Best Debating Team. She adds value, life, and love anywhere she goes. Molisha currently works as a social services officer with the St. Lucia Social Development Fund. Her love and passion for people and social work reconciles perfectly with her role. She is responsible for helping poor and indigent families with housing and educational assistance. She currently serves in the Micoud North, Micoud South, Dennery North, and Dennery South areas. A gem of a human being, that is Molisha Hippolyte.
Outstanding Youth in Social Development, Minerva Simeon. We have already read a beautiful bio.
Outstanding Youth in Innovation and Technology, Shem Edward. Shem Edward is a 28-year-old man from the community of Magwitut Miko. He was introduced to music at an early age when he served as a drummer in his dad's band called Inventions. I think it's Avasya. Avasya. In the year 2012, he was taught how to produce music by Shaman, who is a French native. They later released their first recording called Rise in a Magwitut by Mario Emmanuel, artist name Green Soul, and Shaman himself. With the little that he learned from his dad and Shaman, Shem started making instrumentals, writing, and singing. To improve his skills, he produced for himself and his friends. Shem realized that this was not an easy task, but with time, he started growing towards mastering the art. He has since released his first instrumental rhythm called Boasek and Boakako Rhythm, which featured many local artists such as Yadi, Akim, General Bakes, Educator, to name a few. His major accomplishment was participating in the 2018 Soca Monarch competition and recording for the band as Orkes Wajma, who is well known in St. Lucia. As of now, he has released 2 albums, one Journey's Rhythm and the other Ivity's Journey. Mr. Edward, we celebrate your accomplishments and wish you well.
Outstanding Youth in Innovation and Technology, Shagan Zigo Rosary. Shagan Rosary is a rising junior mechanical engineering major who currently attends Howard University. Shagan is a self-driven and highly diligent individual with a cumulative GPA of 4.0. He currently maintains an active membership in the Howard University Robotics Organization and is an esteemed member of the International Telecommunication Union General Connect America Youth Group, which aims to provide a unique participative process for youth to contribute to the work of the International Technological Union in the American regions. Mr. Rosary has taken a vested interest in empowering youth through the use of robotics and computer programming, as these are the skills which exposed him to several opportunities which assisted in both his educational and professional development. His impressive track record includes participation in the student program for innovation in science and engineering. In 2016, among 17 gifted Caribbean students he held in Barbados. Team leader of the St. Lucia National Robotics team alongside Dion Rekai and Keegan Patrick during the first global 2017 Robotics Olympics. Upon his return to St. Lucia, Shagan was given the opportunity to become part of a pilot group of teachers being trained in the use of Lego Mindstorm's EV3 robotics kit. This was the initial stage of the USAID 3-year robotics initiative on island, targeted to underprivileged and at-risk youth. By displaying extreme proficiency with the kit, Mr. Rosary soon became one of the leading technical personnel within the group. From 2017 to 2019, Shagan continued to work closely alongside the Ministry of Education as well as USAID officials to coordinate further training sessions for the inclusion of more teachers and students into the program. Shagan continued acting as an independent contractor for businesses such as the National Telecommunication Regulatory Commission to host a series of workshops aimed at engaging and educating students through robotics. In 2020, Shagan co-founded his first business, Optronics. Optronics is a technological company focused on developing St. Lucia's economy through STEM-based programs and initiatives. The extent of Optronics initiative takes on 3 unique aspects, which include prototype development, app and web development, and educational programs. Mr. Rosary, we applaud your diligence and celebrate your achievements.
Thank you very much. And of course, let's give a round of applause to all our awardees. Thank you, Mrs. I don't know, Bina. I don't know, but the Mrs. coming. Maybe something is coming, so I suspect at the end of the award ceremony, I'll see some proposal going on, I don't know. But thank you, Ms. Sidoni, for assisting. Now, a while ago, the words were gyrating. So I'm going to call on Mr. Kevin Caesar. I don't know if his words will climax. I don't know. Kevin, let's welcome him as he will do a recital for us at this time.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to say, first of all, thank you to the Monripo Youth and Sports Council for this evening's ceremony. Just bear with me a little bit. I'd really like to thank Mr. Wilson, Mr. Gary Wilson. This gentleman has been very, very supportive of me, I must say. I believe in the past he has always tried to nominate me for national awards. So I think now he's gotten the opportunity to actually give me something. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you, thank you. I do not see him here tonight, but I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Vance Vitalis. I think Yod, as a footballer, and Kimani as well, and Joash, can attest with me. This gentleman is not from Monripo, but this gentleman is very proud to be associated with Monripo. And whenever we have gone to represent Monripo, he has given his blood, sweat, tears, money, everything. His wife, everything. Trust me, his wife even supports as well. So basically, don't take it the wrong way, please. But his wife is always there with us. So yes, guys. Another reason why I'd like to thank Vance, because Vance is actually one of the reasons why I'm standing here today. I remember in 2014, I was unemployed, and Vance actually encouraged me to invest in my writing, and he asked me, well, I would like to ask this gentleman right here to stand. I'm very happy that he's here. He was actually this is Mr. Tony Nicholas. He's the former editor of the Star newspaper. Vance actually asked me to write a little article, and he would send it to Mr. Nicholas, hoping that I would get a job. Miraculously, Mr. Wayne said to me, he actually contacted me and said, Mr. Caesar, your article is crap. He told me my article was crap, but he told me, young man, I see the talent and I'd like to invest in you. And he gave me a year's contract so I could bloom and I could actually nurture my talent. So I'd like to say, Mr. Nicholas, thank you to you. Thank you, thank you. And I'm very happy that you are here to see me tonight, so thank you. Tonight I'd like to do 2 short pieces from my book, My Pen Speaks, and I thank you for everyone who's purchased a copy. You could actually get a copy from me later if you want. Young people, I would like to do 2 pieces. One called Promise, to let you know that we all have promise. And I'm sure with the awards tonight, you have realized, you have seen that the community has acknowledged your promise. So continue to work on yourself. And the second one will be called Broken Ladder. This one is to encourage you to continue fighting. No matter what happens, continue to persevere. So promise. Out of a hurricane of enigmatic visions and daydreams, drenched and seeking salvation, I stumbled upon some hope. A thought process, an idea, a seedling of promise in the wake of the aftermath. And I planted that seed deep into the dirt of my mind. With a draft on paper, I watered and nurtured it. With fertilizer made from a scribble here and a scribble there, with constructive criticism, I pruned it, eradicated with haste the thorns of negativity which sprang forth. And I turned to the Father, imploring him to bestow my little seed with soil, fertile, to embrace my insight, showers that would quench its thirst, to spring forth a herb that would bring forth life, not just for me, but would resemble a family tree that shoots up to become a beanstalk of excellence, way up in the clouds, that shoots up to become a beanstalk of success, way up in the clouds of excellence. A lifetime journey, a true success story that was promised. Broken ladder. I keep climbing, but the top isn't imminent. I keep sliding, but I refuse to crash to the bottom. So I keep trying with the utmost persistence, my confidence getting frail. Assaulted by your negative influence, your outpour of pessimistic energies, remarks and insults. You envision bringing me down like quicksand, but I'm taking a firm grip, fighting the sweat, blood, and tears. And I keep denying my ever-present fears. I keep defying. I refuse to be compared to the ones you have crippled, the failures you have made. Because I'm unorthodox, a different species. I declare that you won't affect me. You have my ladder crumbling under me. Your objective, my fall. To see me give up and to give in. But to me, there is no such thing. I'm pressing on. I'm not getting off. Overcoming these broken steps, grinding through the rigorous and steep path to attaining my dreams. So regardless of my frustrated posture, I know you see my resolve. So why do you keep trying to demolish my ladder? I thank you.
Thank you very much. Well done, Corinne. We are indeed very, very proud of you. And of course, Corinne has set the stage for us to continue with our Excellence Awards. And I invite Mr. Damian Gematis to assist at this time as we continue with the Outstanding Youth in Media.
Outstanding Youth in Media, none other than Vitus Peter. Mr. Vitus Peter is the son of Titus and Esther Peter. He was raised in the community of Prale, where his father is originally from, but frequented the Denry village where his mother was raised. Vitus is the first of 4 children and acquired leadership skills very early on. While most boys dreamt of becoming a fireman or policeman, Vitus walked around with a makeshift camera and mic conducting interviews. Suffice it to say that when he started working in the media, no one was surprised. In 2016, with support from his circle and his wife, then girlfriend, Vitus took the bold step to resign from HTS, where he had been for 7.5 years, and start his own company, Great Vision Designs. He started the first ever live funeral streaming in St. Lucia. The year 2018 saw him becoming the youngest television station owner on the island. The journey has been wrought with trials and joys and growth and learning. His determination to see a goal met is surpassed only by his genuine warmth and caring nature as a human being. One mantra that has served him throughout states, "I do not choose to be a common man. It is my right to be uncommon, if I can." Thomas Paine. Mr. Peter, we celebrate your accomplishments and we salute you today.
Outstanding Youth in Media, Jerry Ann Shallery. He hails from the community of Repos. Jerry Ann has been very well known for his outstanding work in photography, videography, and his other audiovisual technical pursuits, both professional and leisure. He is well loved and influences many young people within the community and St. Lucia at large. Jerry Ann is a very charismatic leader who influences, inspires, and supports those whom he works with. Jerry Ann's work in videography has activated the interests of many talented young people. Hence, he has humbly served as coach, mentor, or resource person to them. His accomplishments are vast, and because of his strong Christian background, he has always held firm a very optimistic attitude in every endeavor. Mr. Shalry, we applaud your contributions and say a big thank you.
Outstanding religious organization, Touchscreen Productions. Touchscreen Productions is a Christian-based drama club established on the 13th of January 2019. It consists of members between the ages of 10 and 30 years old, all from Monrepo and its surrounding communities. Their vision is captured in their logo, "We touch lives, we inspire." And through comedy and drama, they have been meeting this objective outstandingly. They started by performing in churches and then gained exposure from a grand fundraising event which they hosted at the Pastures Combined School in March of 2019. All proceeds from this event went to an educational fund set up to assist students who need help in financing their education. The group has also utilized their talents and limited resources to produce 2 inspirational films, all of which have premiered on YouTube. These films, namely The Growing Dollar and Once Upon a Miracle, have added to the viewing pleasures of many satisfied viewers. Both films were scripted and casted, recorded and edited by the group members themselves. The group looks forward to continuing on their journey to impact the lives of young people through drama. They aim at using their talent to help raise funds to meet the needs of members of the community, to touch and change lives, and to provide opportunities for individuals with a passion for theater. Thank you.
Outstanding Youth in Agriculture, Kimani Serrier. Mr. Kimani Serrier is the son of Tessie Shalry and John Cletus or Pope Serrier of Patience. Though his academics led him to pursuing the field of carpentry and joinery, Kimani has for most of his life engaged and developed a love and passion for agriculture, right next to his true love of football and cricket. From his tender days while still at secondary school, he has been assisting his father on the farm in Piton, where he tends and nurtures plants such as plantain, yams, cocoa, and citruses like grapefruit, oranges, mandarin, limes, and the likes. With a strong desire to make a meaningful and healthy contribution to his community and home, Kimani first began experimenting by selling the excess of the produce to close friends and family. This includes ripe plantain, oranges, grapefruits, limes, lemons, and Christophine. Everyone was grateful for this venture, and so he has expanded his services and has now added to the list byproducts such as cocoa sticks, ginger, turmeric, and papaya. Kimani's produce and delivery has now stretched beyond the community, and he now has customers as far as Choiseul and Castries. His sister Zanel and other family members, along with his friends, assist when necessary or when the work is too demanding. Kimani prides himself and his hard work for having been able to sustain himself and even contribute financially to his household and community. He believes that his community has helped in molding him into a more positive person and encourages all.
Outstanding Youth in Agriculture, Melania Sile. When financial stressors it takes true drive and innovation for young adults to rise above these situations. Melania Sile found particular interest in developing his passion for agriculture, as he saw it as an opportunity to overcome such a crisis. His passion first sprouted from his usual visits to the farm with his father. He further explored agriculture as a subject at secondary school. As he grew, he imparted his knowledge and skills to his friends and family and encouraged them to invest their time and effort into farming. He particularly enjoys planting and, of course, reaping the harvest. Driven by hard work, Melanius takes pride in providing and supplying food crops to his family and the community. Melanius continues to hold the view that self-belief, perseverance, and hard work can always reap success. We celebrate your love for agriculture, Melanius, and salute your efforts.
Outstanding Youth in Liberal Arts, Kawin Cakes Cesar. Kawin is a 30-year-old hailing from the serene. Oh, my bad. Let's start that again. Cakes is a 30-year-old hailing from the serene coastal community of Pale. He is a certified EMT, a writer, prose poet, blogger, former journalist and columnist, and most importantly, a published author. Cakes developed a passion for writing from a very early age. Being an only child, he occupied himself by writing compositions and short stories and dreamt of becoming an author upon reaching retirement age. In 2013, he wrote an article on the activities leading to Repos hosting a Junior Creole entitled Mamai Mopo Wasin Creole and emailed the Star newspaper. The article made the weekend edition of the paper, impressing both the editor at the time and owner Rick Wayne, leading to Mr. Wayne offering him a job as a junior writer. Kawin worked in different sectors and fields, but his desire of becoming an author only grew stronger. And with much determination, in 2019, at the age of 29, he published his debut book entitled My Pen Speaks. The book is a 40-piece collection of prose which depicts everyday situations, struggles, and norms of human life, and challenges of dealing with hurt and internal struggle. My Pen Speaks also tells tales on an array of topics, from engaging God on a personal level to identifying life before technology, lustful desires, and much more. The book can be purchased on Amazon. Cakes' love for the youth has led him to serving as a volunteer teacher at his alma mater, the former Monipo Combined School, at the age of 19 during the academic year 2008 and 2009, and also volunteered his services to the community through the Monipo Youth and Sports Council from 2014 to 2016. Cakes thanks the members of the Monipo Youth and Sports Council for their appreciation of his efforts and talents, and everyone in the community who supported him throughout his lifetime.
Community Achievement Award, Monrepo Football League. The Monrepo Football League is an affiliate of the St. Lucia Football Association and is responsible for the development of football within the community, which includes organizing competitions and getting representative teams for zonal or national competitions. It came into being after the transformation of the structure of SLFA and development plan, which saw it coming from being the football committee, a subcommittee of the Monrepo Youth and Sports Council, to the Monrepo Football League, which has been in existence from January 2017. There are 7 persons on the executive from the 6 affiliate clubs, namely Young Strikers, Pasias Youth Organization, Grassroots Sports Club, Loba Youth and Sports Club, True Glory Movement, and Prale Bay United. The 2018 to 2020 seasons saw an emphasis on club or player registration to comply with the national directions and requirements of club registration, whilst empowering club administrations. The league held a number of competitions, including promotional cup completions, local grassroots and youth festivals, hosted zonal competitions, as well as participating in national, senior, and under-17 boys competition. The COVID pandemic saw a halt to competitive sports, but there were attempts to engage persons with a Facebook Keep It Up competition, which was open to all age categories. Clubs are still being encouraged to strengthen their administrative structures in the participation of the return of competitive football.
Thank you, Mr. Jamatis. Thank you very much, Mr. Jamatis, and of course, thanks to our orators who have been doing an awesome job of presenting the values to us. Stretch your legs a bit. Take a little breather now. Prepare. You'd be told. Sit up right now because we are about to listen to some encouraging remarks from one of our very own who continues to use his talent in the community. I invite Mr. Shalry to tell us about our guest presenter at this moment, Mr. Nayo Serie.
Nayo Serie. Nayo Serie is a Fulbright scholar and a well-known math and statistics instructor, a position he has held at South Louis Community College for over a decade. He is also an active member of the American Statistical Association, and his educational background includes a master's degree in statistics from the North Carolina State University and a BSc in computer science with mathematics from the University of West Indies, Cayville campus. He heads the Grassroots Youth and Sports Council. He is a qualified football coach and was recently appointed as the chairperson of the Miku North Village Council. His passion for youth and sports social development in the community is beyond commendable and is very evident. I would like to introduce my best cousin, Nayo Hayden Serie.
Good evening, everybody. First, permit me to adopt the protocol that has already been established and to allow me to thank and express my extreme gratitude to the organizers of this event for granting me the opportunity to address this stellar subsection of my community. I will be forever proud that I was raised in a community that has represented so well nationally, regionally, and internationally. And it means a lot to me to be part of any event that recognizes excellence among us. Allow me to borrow from today's guide as I address you. Inspire. Aristotle is attributed as saying that excellence is an art won by training and habituation. We do not act rightly because we have virtue or excellence, but rather, we have those because we have acted rightly. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is then not an act, but a habit. All of you, the recipients of the awards this evening, have personified this statement. Even without recognizing it, if you look back on those years, the reason you have been chosen as an awardee today is because of your habits. You have demonstrated excellence through those habits. And let me use you as the inspiration for tonight. Well done. To empower. This evening is about a community and country saying, we recognize you and we believe in what you believe in. To continue your journey, you need to take care of yourself physically and mentally. In both cases, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness. Poor mental health is a risk factor for chronic physical health. We are blessed in this community. In most cases, we have strong bonds of friendship and family. Find the real ones and use them as your support. In this community as well, we're very close to nature. In the 1990s, researchers in Japan began studying the physiological benefits of forest bathing, something they refer to as Shinrin-yoku. What it did was provide the science to support what we already know, that time spent in nature is good for us. While Japan is credited with the term, the concept at the heart of the practice is not new. Many cultures have long recognized the importance of the natural world to human health. Use your natural world to re-energize. We have beaches, rivers, gardens, forests, everything we need. Re-energize. Physical exercise offers incredible benefits that can improve nearly every aspect of our health from the inside out. It helps protect the body against the effects of aging, improves brain health, can improve our mood, and reduce feelings of anxiety and depression. So I say to you, exercise, exercise, exercise. To create. Here I specifically want to address the concept of entrepreneurship. And it's good that we had an entire section on young entrepreneurs this evening. The French economist JBC coined the word entrepreneur in the 1800s, saying that an entrepreneur shifts economic resources out of an area of lower productivity into an area of higher productivity and yield. So breaking this down, we need to be able to recognize the area of higher productivity and yield. And too much of the time we forget the 80-20 principle. That 80% of our results or outputs flow from 20% of the causes. And sometimes even from a much smaller proportion. So in every important sphere, work out where your 20% is. Work out where the 20% of effort can lead to the 80% of returns. Remember, doing something unimportant very well does not make it important. So dream and set your goals. Unfortunately, you are just as likely to come up with the reasons why you may not succeed. But don't let your doubt into the cockpit. You can tolerate doubt as a backseat driver, but anytime you let it into the pilot seat, you are guaranteed to fail. Change. It's important that we recognize our specialized skills. Skills that are not easily replaceable. And be aware of the importance of adaptability and the relatively regular need to evolve. There's one thing that we've learned in this past year of COVID-19 is that the only thing that we are guaranteed that is constant is the concept of change. The only constant we have is change. We need to adapt, we need to evolve. Even this evening while I was seated, I was sort of forced to make a small change to my speech this evening, because I heard Ms. Joseph Emmanuel talk about the fact that a lot of the times our youth are criticized so heavily. But the thing I think sometimes, I mean, I'm not so much older, but I mean, what happens sometimes is we forget some of the things that our youth today are faced with. They have it a lot more difficult than we do when it comes to the concept of focus and distraction. In the book, Make Time, the authors referred to two concepts. One concept they refer to as the busy bandwagon, or something close to what's also called FOMO, or the fear of missing out, in that everybody needs to appear busy. I mean, how do we have our conversations with our friends tomorrow if we didn't watch the latest episode of whatever is the new thing last night? And again, remember what we said is doing something unimportant very well does not make it important. So we need to be aware of this busy bandwagon, that the concept of just appearing busy. The second thing that they referred to was this concept of an infinite pool or infinity pools. And what they refer to as infinity pools are any of the things that we are faced with now that you can continue to scroll infinitely. So Facebook is an infinity pool. You could literally sit there and scroll and never stop. Netflix is an infinity pool. You could literally go from series to movie and never stop. YouTube is an infinity pool. You could literally go from one to the other and never stop. We were not faced with those things when we were younger, and now our youth are consistently bombarded by those things. So for them to rise above and produce like they do now is something that we definitely need to applaud. We were never faced with those things before. So, as it's always the case with me, I get this evening to do one of my favorite types of speeches, which is to the point and very short. So again, I go back and I say I use you, all of the awardees this evening, to inspire us, to inspire me, to inspire everybody out there in Infinity Pool, YouTube land, and Facebook land, and everywhere out there. Let's recognize the importance of entrepreneurship. Let's recognize the importance of adaptability and what we have seen among our youth this evening. Our young entrepreneurs, our young people who have adapted, our young people who have evolved, and our young people who have succeeded. Let us remember, let us continue to thank them. Perhaps some of us are built differently. When we look at people like, when I look at Clivert on a bicycle, when I hear stories of Norke getting to a race late, getting undressed and then getting dressed and then starting the race and still winning, we have to think that sometimes maybe some of us are built differently. Some of us are just made for the things that we do. I've seen Minerva sew. So some of the times we forced to think that. But maybe what we really need to do is just look at them, borrow from their drive and their determination, and just do like they did and leave all of our excuses at the door. Thank you.
Oh, Nayo, that was awesome. Give him a people. When it's good, we have to applaud. Well done. I mean, at the end of the day, Nayo has inspired me, I'll be honest. Nayo has inspired me to get up and walk like I used to walk before. Those of you who know about me, I used to get up at 3:30 and walk from my home to the Tiroche Gap and back to Monrepo, and I'm energized and at school, and I did that for a period after I lost 35 pounds. But this afternoon when I put that dress on, I think the mirror has a problem. So Nayo, you inspired me, honestly. And of course, you said a couple of things that I cannot help but remind us. Get a true circle of friends and family. This is things, but yeah, if you don't have people to fall back on, you're getting so stressed out, young people. Choose your friends wisely. If they're not building you up, get another set of friends. You don't owe anybody friendship. You owe yourself the right to choose people who will elevate you, people who will praise you, people who will encourage you. You don't have to do it the way you used to do it. Change that, Nayo. Thank you. So I check in my friends list again, and we have to strengthen Golden Girls. We need to do something. But yeah, that part, Nayo, the exercise that one hit me hard, honestly. I think the scale has a problem, the mirror has a problem. I don't know. When I sit in the car, the car goes down. I need to do something. Thank you. And but something there you said that higher productivity, higher yield, and that one is not just for you young people.
Across communities to new environments. His signature international event was the Monrepo Youth and Sports Council Annual Independence Road Relay, which saw teams from all over the OECS, including Martinique, St. Vincent, and other CARICOM states, participating in what is now a sought-after event for athletes, local, regional, and international. Another marked event of the Monrepo Youth and Sports Council, conceptualized by Nicholas, was its annual raffle held in December, which was the major source of funding for the organization. Nicholas has worked and continues tirelessly in keeping his community hyped and recognized in the world of sports and culture. He solely set up and used to manage the Monrepo Youth and Sports website for over 12 years, and Facebook page, which is very popular to locals, foreigners, and Monreponians residing abroad. Even announcements of the deceased from Monrepo and surrounding communities are posted on there, along with funeral photos, biographies of the deceased, and write-ups on events happening in community, to mention a few, long before COVID brought about those changes. He has been recognized in his community, nationally and regionally, in his many disciplines. At his home school, he has been honored as the patron of the Jabati Sports House. In 2013, he was honored by the community through the Journée Creole Committee for his indelible contributions to the community and people of Monrepo. One of the greatest all-rounders in cricket and football, Nick represented his community, Club South Wales, for many years. A visionary in his disciplines who helped in nurturing the youth of Monrepo to be well-rounded and mannered individuals. In 1984, he won the Most Outstanding Youth Award under the Ministry of Youth and Sports. During his tenure with the Monrepo Youth and Sports Council, the council was recognized for many years as the Council of the Year consecutively. He was influential in the preparatory and hosting of International Youth Year when St. Lucia accommodated this momentous event. On a national level, Nick has served as Secretary of the St. Lucia Natural Cricket Association and the National Football Association during the period 1984 to 1994. Regionally, he functioned as a past Secretary of the Windward Islands Football Association and the St. Lucia Cuba Humanistic Solidarity Association. He was also the former Secretary of the Kiwanis South Organization. His work experience spanned from as early as the 1900s. I am imagining that's an error. With the Windward Islands Banana Growers Association, WINBAN, which was established to administer a crop insurance scheme for 3 banana growers associations of Dominica, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent, and the Grenada Banana Cooperative Society. He also taught as an agricultural science teacher at the Viewfort Junior Secondary School and worked for a period of time with the National Research and Development Foundation, NRDF, as a small business counselor. He also worked as a product development officer for the Windward Islands with Renwick and Company here in St. Lucia. In 2001, Nicholas served as a senator in the government of St. Lucia and attempted politics. However, the people of his community emphasized to him that he was needed to stay with them and not go ahead of them. Nicholas remains a devoted community activist, environmentalist, and continues to add value to his community, not only locally, but in the diaspora. He actively participates in a number of local, regional, and international events, including the New York City Marathon, St. Lucia National Cyclist Association, and is also a small farmer practicing backyard gardening and planting of trees around public areas. At present, Nicholas practices law from his Viewfort-based office, but has not lost his love for his true calling of service to humanity. He is well loved and highly regarded in his community, St. Lucia, and the wider Caribbean. Tonight, we recognize and acknowledge him for his outstanding vision, work, dedication, success, and continuous ambition. We honor him as a prolific, inspirational, and exemplary stalwart in sportsmanship, youth, and community development. Ladies and gentlemen, a rousing round of applause for Mr. Nicholas Jabatis. Come on, guys, we can do better than that. Come on, standing ovation, Mr. Nicholas Jabatis. I was almost winded reading all of this.
Great job.
Great job, Nick. Thank you.
And he's related to me, so I'm sure he'll say something for 2 minutes.
Well, I have to follow Nayo, who shares the same birthday with me. I adopt the sentiments of people like Shalon, Miss Mateli, Scovin Caesar, etc. When you get to be my age, especially when I look at the honorees tonight, you'll have to make space on your shelves to put awards of that nature. This one is very special, and if I have to add another room to my house, I'll get a place to put it. So I'd just like to say to the members of the Monrepo Youth and Sports Council, the organizing committee, because I'm sure it's not the executive alone that was able to put on an outstanding, event of that nature, as well as the sports-loving community of Monrepo, that I accept this honor with a lot of humility, with the full knowledge that I am accepted on behalf of a lot of persons that include the founding members of Southwills, that includes, an outstanding family in the series next door, who among themselves contributed a lot to education, to health, and to sports. 3 of the first teachers that I made contact with would have been Marcellus, Dulcie, and Teacher Boise. Among the outstanding women in the community would have been Teacher Myrtle, Teacher Brenda, some of the earliest female drivers, as well as Mrs. Mathre. Not only in this classroom, I was in standard 2 about here, the stage was in here, you all are in standard 3 and standard 4. I didn't, like most students, I probably did a little copying, but I was raised by the I was raised by the school next door, the small field out there, the church, the chapel in those days, as well as St. Anne's Parish Church in 1966. So I don't think I did too badly, and I didn't have a choice, with the series out there, my parents there, etc. And a lot of icons and people to set the good examples. So I want to take the opportunity, just briefly, as I used to do it on occasions like that, to remember people like Miss Gilda, then other people like Fina, and other people who, who graced us with their presence at the playing fields and on awards night. I noted we forgot an outstanding person in Prague, Mr. Henry Mathre. When he came from England with his 2 sons, they revolutionized sports in Monrepo. And how could you all of Mr. Morris and his wife, Margaret Toot, in all sports they were supporting, as well as Mothers and Fathers Group. I want to take the opportunity at this stage as well, not to forget and to launch our Dennis James Foundation for Excellence, which has been endorsed by the current district rep. And we you all will have an input in that, in ensuring that, we choose somebody that can combine sporting talent and perhaps education. As an example, we'll try to make it prestigious, as I said the last time, like the Norman Manley Memorial Award. When I happen on annual this, we'll make it big out here. I want to take the opportunity as well that we all have a good thing going, and with the advent of the computer and having database, that we can get a list of about 30 or 40 activities that we can really list down, so that every family, every person below the age of 18 can get involved in one of those activities as a sort of national service leading to 2 years. So there's no excuse to say that I don't play netball, or the sports council is only involved in sports. So we can do things like perhaps languages, book clubs, all sorts of things. I'm still learning French. I'm at the B1 level. I hope to pass it and go to B2. I'm decent in Spanish and German. So there are a lot of things to do. And, there's no dead time or anything at that moment. So I'd like to take the opportunity to get the young people involved in, it's an interesting and exciting time to live in. There are a lot of opportunities out there. In your spare time, you can hone your skills in a lot of different things, like I said, whether it's languages or, teaching or just being involved in a club. So with so little to say and so much, as you can tell, I'm a little shy and not used to speaking in public. I thank you sincerely, all of you all. It means a lot to me. We're going to get cupboard space for this. Thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you, and of course, I hope you recognize that Mr. Javatis is actually saying to you, I'm ready to work with you again and to get Monrepo where we used to be and even further with the energy of our youth. So let's embrace Mr. Javatis and all those other stalwarts who have contributed to the development. And he also raised something so important. We need to document our history. Our young people don't know about Mr. Morris and Ma Morris. And I remember Ma Morris and Mr. Morris. You know, Ma Morris gave me a joke, but it's not appropriate for this audience. That lady was a darling. But seriously, our young people don't know. And sometimes we want to blame them, but we didn't tell them. We didn't teach them properly. So let's do what we can to document our history. And young people, be open to receive the experiences of the past. It is those experiences that have laid the foundation. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Somebody started it for you already. Jump on it and spring up in the air and do something even greater. Thank you, Mr. Javatis. Let's give him a round of applause once again. And thank you, Mr. Zephrinus Joseph. I now invite Mr. Leslie Shallery to assist with the presentation of this award.
Thank you so very much, Mrs. Joseph. So the joke that Mrs. Morris gave to Flora, I will tell you what it is. In the olden days, Mass was celebrated in Latin. So when you came to Mass, everything the priest said was strictly in Latin. Many times the congregation did not understand anything that the priest said. So one morning, the priest, preparing for Mass, he forgot that he had a soursop on the tree. He noticed that was ripe, that he needed to pick before Mass. And while on the pulpit, while preaching, he was able to see the soursop tree from the pulpit. So he's paying attention to the soursop. Just about when the host is about to be raised, the priest noticed somebody coming to climb the tree to pick that same soursop that he wanted to get before. So from the pulpit, because he knows that nobody's going to understand what he says, Chewy, Apela mesnukai debite. And the congregation answers, Amen. That was the joke. Yes. I did not expect you to laugh so much. So here's another one. So the priest again was celebrating Mass. And at that time, the acolytes were the most obedient people that there was. The acolytes. If the acolyte did anything wrong, the priest had the right to slap the acolyte behind his head, right there on the altar. So, here again, they say in the Eucharistic prayer, so the acolytes are kneeled alongside the priest, and the priest is again saying his prayer in Latin. So certainly, one of the acolytes begins to feel an itch. But he does not dare scratch it, because if he does, the priest will slap him behind his head. So he uses the priest tactics this time. And he goes close to the priest, he leans forward close to the priest and he says, Father, Buenos Guatos. Father pretends like he doesn't hear and he pays no mind to the acolyte. He leans in close and is a little louder. He says, Father, Buenos Guatos. The priest pretends like he doesn't hear. He leans in a third time and a little bit louder, and this time because the itch is now really ready to be scratched by Sazon. So he repeats his Latin phrase to the priest. The priest then answers, if you're Buenos Guatos, Guatos, Buenos. And again the congregation went, thank you. Alrighty, so that's enough for jokes for now. That's the only two jokes I know. Yes. Yes, so our next award, it is a great pleasure to be here this evening and to honor the life and the remarkable career of one particular stalwart, the late Dennis Corpora James. His professional occupation or engagements included primary school teacher at Mondidon, secondary school teacher at Entrepreneurship, the National Youth Council General Secretary, United Nations Population Fund, AIDS prevention amongst youth, economist with the Ministry of Finance, Program Development Officer, World Cup 2007 Organizing Committee member, Project Officer with NICE Program, OECS Sports Director, Secondary School Teacher at Bocage. During the years as President and Founder, member of the Posthumous Youth Organization, which continues to be one of the genuine and outstanding community clubs on the East Coast. A club which participated in every sporting discipline from which a fixture was provided. A club which even had its own women's team and its own inter-house athletics competition. One of the houses being James House after Dennis. As president of the Monipo Youth and Sports Council, Dennis stirred the organization into a well-organized unit that ensured participation in national programs and agenda. He presided over a tenure that saw in the number and strength of the club structure in the community. The level of interest in club activities expanded from the household names of South Wales and 4H, along with the community-based clubs of Pralin, Malgretut, and La Pointe, to an expansion that included Loba and Montboisden. Perhaps Mamiku, with its dwindling population in the community, is the only enclave that had never had a club, though it produced people like Roy Charles and his brothers, as well as Bridget and Aurelia, who played netball. Corpora presided in a period when the role of sponsorship saw the creation of a direct sporting link with the rural district. Such was the case of the Windward and Leeward Breweries Limited, which provided continued support to Monrepo programs, and in particular the one international event in the form of the Independence Road Relay, now in its 31st year. It was an exciting period for the youth awareness when Corpora served as General Secretary to the National Youth Council, following the tenure of Ernest Hille and Armstrong Alexis. His major task in the early 90s had to do with administering a fledgling organization in transformation that had to deal with dwindling resources as traditional donors like Oxfam and Hivos reduced their budget worldwide towards areas like NYC projects. Despite these challenges, the NYC during that period began to exercise a lot of say in the selection of the executive of the major national sporting bodies such as cricket and football. During the tenure of Corpora, the NYC with its workshop and youth camps and regular general meetings became the major forum for the direction of community development, youth and sports in the various communities. It was clear that a new dispensation of leadership at the community level was emerging and making their presence felt at the national level. President of the St. Lucia National Cricket Association, Corpora's one term coincided with a lot of focus on the development of cricket globally, regionally, and nationally. It coincided with the hosting of the 2007 Cricket World Cup in the West Indies. He no doubt played a part in the preparation and hosting as the member of the St. Lucia Organizing Committee, to which he was seconded. Player and administrator, the last genre of both played and administered the sports. The type who played in 2 or 3 district competitions, Monrepo, Castries, and National. The leader who knew and participated in cleaning the field, marking it, preparing the pitch, scoring, umpiring, drawing up fixtures, and doing all of that with a certain degree of accuracy and composure. Tonight, I am very pleased to honor Corpora's remarkable career and community life by posthumously presenting him with the Monrepo Youth and Sports Council Posthumous Award. I am very pleased that Michelle Macklin James, Corpora's widow, is able to be with us tonight to accept this award on behalf of her late husband. I invite her to join us on the stage at this time.
All right, let's give her a round of applause, and of course,
I'd just like to say thank you to everybody. It's an emotional time for me, so thank you, thank you, thank you.
thank you, Michelle. We understand. One thing I can tell you, if you have not taken anything from Dennis, take his smile. I think that was the secret of his youth. Dennis didn't look his age at all. Yeah, agreed? He smiled a lot and he had a lot of love. Let's take that from him. Young people, smile at everybody, greet everybody with love. You don't know who's watching, you don't know who's your next employer if you're not self-employed. Greet people with love and respect. Somebody is watching you and your attitude will make that difference for you. Thank you again, Michelle, for being here with us this evening. And thank you, Mr. Shalry, for assisting with the presentation. And I'll invite Mr. Silver Wilson to the stage at this time to assist with the next presentation.
The next award is the sponsor of the year. We have been, the current executive has served in that capacity for almost 4 years now, if I recall, 6 years. So our PRO is keeping score. So it's now 6 years that we are serving in the capacity of the executive of the Monterey Youth and Sports Council. And from the time that we were elected into office, one of the organizations that has been with us from and before that time is the St. Lucia National Lotteries Authority. And today we want to express our thanks and gratitude to the St. Lucia National Lotteries Authority. I can attest that every time we have sought assistance from the St. Lucia National Lotteries, it has always been a positive response and quick response, and we really appreciate that. And so tonight we really want to honor and thank and pay homage to the St. Lucia National Lotteries, and thank you for your dedication and support. Mr. Seria would like for you to, if you would please come, to receive on behalf of Mr. Seria, Karen Seria. He's the chairman of the board of the St. Lucia National Lotteries Authority. Thank you so very much, and we appreciate you, and we're looking forward to greater sponsorship.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And of course, we know other sponsors are watching. Our sponsors are watching out there, so feel free to contact the Monterey Youth and Sports Council to assist in any way to ensure that our youth continue to be supported by our corporate sponsors and our sponsors within the community. Thank you, Mr. Serrier. And of course, I heard somebody ask for the numbers for the lottery. Remember me, please. Anyway, on a serious note, thank you. But the lottery has helped a lot of people. I think Monrepo people are lucky with the lottery. From what I heard, a couple of Monrepo people have been lucky, you know. I need to find them. What's that? Oh, there are a few here tonight. Okay, so we have an emergency meeting, winners of the lottery. Immediately following this ceremony, I'll be chairing the meeting. All right. So let's continue. We are almost there. You give yourselves a round of applause. You are awesome. Wonderful audience. Very, very good. And, oh, nice. May I invite Miss Elsa Wilson, who's reading? Who's reading it? The youth of the year. Who's reading it? Oh, okay. I now invite Mr. Glenn Wilson, President of the Monrepo Youth and Sports Council, to assist with the next presentation. And of course, we are going to present the award to the Youth of the Year. The individual who has impacted, who has contributed to the development of self, community, youth. I'm just summarizing, I don't have the... while they get in there, you know, you got it? So they will tell us a little about the recipient of the Youth of the Year Award.
The Youth of the Year is a 26-year-old native from Monrepo, the owner of their own business, an active member of clubs within the community, serving in various capacities. She has served in these clubs in the roles of president, oh, I said she, oops. President, assistant secretary, and the PRO. She has worked with the Ministry of Youth Development and has a great passion for youth empowerment and youth development. She's of the belief that every child needs a mentor, an adult who understands them and the power of connection. An adult mentor who will insist that they become the best they can possibly be. She's always there to listen and guide them. She strongly believes, as Nelson Mandela said, that the youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. Like I said, she has her own business, but she did not start off as an entrepreneur. And her proudest moment is owning her own business and becoming her own boss. She often goes by the saying, failure and hard times are often blessings in disguise. Let go and let life strengthen you. Soar high in the direction of your dreams. Do not be embarrassed about losses, but boss up. So if you were following earlier, you know well that the awardee for Outstanding Youth of the Year, goes to none other than Minerva Simeon from Loba. Flora Upayo.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. Congratulations, Minerva. Congratulations. DJ, congratulations. Oh, you didn't pay copyright? That's okay. Don't play it. Next thing you have to pay some royalties there. These days, things serious. Thank you and congratulations to our Youth of the Year, Miss Minerva Simeon. And of course, challenge yourself to walk on that stage next year. Well, by then we would have the facilities would be a lot better, I can assure you. Challenge yourself to do the best that you can. And even if you did not get an award today, this should not stop you from trying, but use it as your propelling force to get you to continue to do better and continue to persevere. You can do it. You will do it. And I think it was Mr. Jonathan who said, I can, I will, and a lot of things. Thank you, Mr. Jonathan. Young people, give yourselves a rousing round of applause. You did well. You made your family proud. You made your community proud. You've made us proud. And so we thank you and congratulate you on your achievements. Oops, I think I see another award on my paper. I thought I was finished. Oh, there is one more award. May I invite Mr. Damian Jabatis to assist with the presentation of this award.
Thank you so very much. It's been a great evening, hasn't it? But it would be very, very, very bad of us to end this evening without recognizing the next individual. He's an experienced paramilitary with a demonstrated history of working with emergency and disaster management industry. He's skilled in occupational health and safety, emergency medical services, web design, training development and delivery standards, advanced medical first response. He has over 12 years management experience in youth development, community building, and volunteerism. If I have to continue with all of his skills, like Nayo said, it will be an infinity pool. This gentleman is also an officer in the most honorable order of St. John's of the city of Jerusalem. I refer to none other than Mr. Glenn Gary Wilson. Please come forward to receive your surprise award, sir.
Thank you. Gary is deserving of recognition. Give him a rousing round of applause. Very hardworking, very reliable, challenges himself to improve. And a lot of the young people, a lot of what Gary does, he learned it on his own. No exaggeration. If you know Gary's history, then you can tell yourself that if Gary can do it, I can do it even better. I don't want to. I can do it better. Challenge yourself. Very inspiring young man. Good listener. Always has ideas to share. Yes, he does not know how to say no. All right. So, thank you, Gary. We are really, really grateful, and we wanted to recognize your efforts in community development. Thank you. Whoa, now, I'm ready to dance. Take off your shoes, shake a leg, as we put our hands together for talent coming out of Repos. Now, you have to transform us, so we no longer in a formal award ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, we have more than one. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me the greatest pleasure to welcome on stage at this time two of our very young men, very talented. They are going to woo you tonight. Yeah. No noise, people. Let's put our hands together for Tony and Ensign. Tony and Edson. Make some noise. The VMB boys. They're going to woo you now with their presentation. And you remind me of Livon and the boys when they started. These boys were oh, sorry. Okay. Very good, Tony and Edison, sorry. Woo. I have to learn how to whistle. Now, this building has a lot of history, so
Be careful. Be careful. Not too much. Come on, ladies. Shake your body, ladies. Yeah. Woo.
Signal
boys. Wonderful. Wonderful. We can do better than that. Let's make some noise for our boys. All right. We always proud when our boys make us proud. Make some noise. And I know you're hungry. Mrs. Wilson, they hungry. Oh, there is rain. That's okay. You can take your time. Thank you, boys. That's wonderful. And of course, if you want our boys to perform at our VMB boys,
of the Monripo Pasias Combined School for allowing us use of the space. Migood Constituency Council for granting us use of the chairs. Great Visions Design for the live coverage and great captures for capturing this moment. To our special invited guests, your acceptance to our invitation and presence means a lot to us. We hope you enjoyed the ceremony, and we encourage each and every one of you to please support our youth and community. Synergetic relationships between stakeholders and the community can make Monripo what it has been and what it should be. So again, everyone, we are grateful for your collective efforts and contributions. May we all find guidance in our way forward for the sake of our youth and community. I thank you.
and of course we say thank you to Mrs. Wilson for delivering the vote of thanks. Now put on your mask, everybody. Oh, you're about to eat. Sorry. But as you mix and mingle and eat, remember to keep yourself safe. I don't know how you will be served. Are you going to serve them or they come in? What's the procedure? Okay, so remain in your seats, you will be served. We don't want, we want the distancing and so forth. But thank you very much, everybody. It has been a wonderful evening. And of course, I want to say all the best. Continue to strive. And we look forward to seeing you next year. Same place, same time, different date. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
Quick announcement. The photographers want to get a photo opportunity. If all of the awardees could please just come on the stage for a minute. All persons who received awards here tonight, just make your way to the stage for a minute, please, so the photographers can get one group photo. Thank you so very much. Once again, if all of the awardees could just please make their way to the stage for a minute, just for a quick minute, for a group photo, would appreciate that.
Just stand up tall, look them in the face and say, I'm that star up in the sky, I'm that mountain peak up high, yeah, I'm the world's greatest, and I'm that little bit of hope, when my back's against the ropes, I can feel it, I'm the world's greatest.
Who in kicks Caesar?